Hi, hi everyone. It's me, Sailor Saturn, Sailor Ringworld, Taru here. And today we're going to talk about, folks that, don't like the Deek Sailor Moon. And I know we talked about the Deek Sailor Moon all the time, about why folks don't like that one. And they always bring up the things that they escape about it. First off, they always escape the show playing, or the word playing, or the speaking playing. In their belief, they believe the folks that were hired were not skilled enough. Or in their mind, they think that that's not how they think the South should had talked like. I don't know what they wanted the South to talk like, to tell you the truth. Did they want it in Dawnish English? I don't know. Sorry, since it was filmed, since Deke hired the folks from the settled land and from the 4-1 Reichs, it was going to be in 4-1 Reichs English and settled land English. So I don't know what they make a big standard about that when I thought the folks did really good speaking for them. Being upset over some of the things being skimmed or shifted in the wrestling or the fighting. Mostly in Sailor Moon, there's not really so much wrestling or fighting. It's more strikes going on, and them being upset that, a lot of that was skimmed it out. I think they had a high standard for it. And why? Who knows? You see, the forgiveness is that Deke Sailor Moon was made for younger lookers, or watchers, or seers. And I know a lot of folks are going to bring up, are going to forget about that when they bitch about how the wrestling or the fighting or the striking was being skimmed it out. Why make a big deal over that? I do not know. Names being shifted. Yeah, this is a big one in the Sailor Moon followership. Them pissed off that the Dawnish borrowed names were shifted out for either Hellenistus, or Frenchis, or Latinus, or Spanish, or Hebrew borrowed names. Names that folks whose names that English borrowed more names from those speeches than they did from Dawnish. And why they make a big deal out of it, who knows? I have no clue. And these are folks bitching about a drawing show, or an arm of a drawing show that is at least about 30 or 31 years old now. Yeah, like they make a big deal about that. They also like to say things like, oh, this is what Naku Takaguchi didn't want. First off, let's be truly earnest about this. And not between 95 YL, Naku Takaguchi didn't have some of the slay that she has now as a half owner. So, and this was a deal that was brokered between Toei and Deke, which at the time Deke Lee was owned by the Walt Disney business at that time. So there were some freedoms that Disney and Deke could take with Sailor Moon, with still keeping underneath the deal they had with Toei. To say this is what Naku Takaguchi didn't attend is meaning that, this goes against the writers fought. Well, keep in mind, the drawing film, the 9 between 90 drawing film that Toei made, a lot of freedoms were taken with that too. And a lot of things that happened in a drawing show didn't happen in the books, and back and forth. Also saying that the Deke Sailor Moon is unwatchable. Well, once again, that is a belief. It is watchable, if you know where to get it. There are very few websites out there that have it. Since it was never truly put on disc, it was put on film, but it was never truly put on disc. And since it's locked up somewhere by, well, Brian somewhere, it'll never see the light of day. So yeah, you got to go around on other websites to seek it. But it is watchable. If you're saying that, oh, you can't watch it and you think it's unwatchable, well, that's your belief. But for anyone who has seeked it out, it is watchable. You know? And that just seems, and the only thing that they can say good about it, you know, is, oh, I like the songs. So you hate everything about it, but the only things that some of these folks can say good about it are the songs. Well, there's a lot more good things about it. You know, friendship. Yes, that did not get skimmed it out. You know. Now I also know, you know, standing up for what you believe in. That did not get skimmed it out of it either. Making a big deal about Zoe Slight becoming a woman. You know, open-mindedness about anyone being unstraight, whatever arm of unstraightness they happen to fall into, is it's not where it was back then. Back then, if you had anyone who was unstraight in a film, show, or play, and you were doing it for children, you run to the fear of folks, you know, getting angry over it. And Disney and Deke did not want to lose the UPN WB deal because the leadership and the ownership and leadership couldn't handle that kind of thing, or worried about teachers and bearers and worship leaders being upset over it. See, the open-mindedness and the trusting and the understanding of the unstraight folks out there, which are many, is more good than it was back then. And in some lands, it's even more good than others. So yeah, they had to make Zoe Slight a woman because they were worried that UPN and WB and bearers and teachers and even near worship leaders couldn't handle it. Nowadays, it's not a big deal. And folks know how to handle that kind of thing. And folks are more trusting and open-minded about that. So it was a crafting of its time. Anyway, give this film a like, share and playlist it, and I'll see you later.